Good morning, guys. It's Gutmacher Zero, and this is my realm, the Ogrecraft realm. And I want to show you my newest project. This is a bamboo farm. And if you look at the building, it's kind of based on, there's a building in Daggerfall in Elder Scrolls Online. It's kind of based on loosely. That building has got a forge in it and clothing stations, so it's all about crafting. And so I think I'll put some crafting stations down in here, just decoratively. What I did here was I did one big arch on each of these three sides, and really the fourth side too, but then it backs into this part here, which is the forge, I guess, is the idea. And this would be like a big fire in here or something. And so I think I might make this decorative. I might move that door and do something decorative there. And additionally, like I have this is my charcoal machine. So basically, if you put a stack of wood in there, it turns it into charcoal and automatically fuels itself out of the charcoal it makes. And I'm thinking about maybe moving that over and putting it right here. And then that way it would be like, it would kind of like simplify this area a little bit, since I've got this big building here. When this was just by itself, it was fine, but it's kind of looking a little cramped to me right now. So I might do that, but I'm kind of making up my mind here. But I worked on this this weekend. I worked on it, started Friday night, worked on it yesterday for a few hours, and put in some hours today. And it's all done now. As you can see, this is 16 by 16. And the bamboo is auto-sorted. Well, it's not auto-sorted, but I mean, it goes through hoppers and comes down here. And so since I've had this automation working, I've gotten all this. This is basically several hours of work, and as you can see, it went off. It goes off twice a day, and each time it goes off twice. And of course, the reason to do it is to get to be able to make this scaffolding. And scaffolding is great, man. If you haven't used it yet, I really recommend it. I really like it. It's much better than stacking up with dirt and then having to dig it all back down again. If you look here, I did the building. This is kind of inspired by, had like a roof that went to the sides, and then a second story which was smaller in the middle with another roof on top. And I didn't really want to do anything like that, but I didn't want to just have these big flat surfaces here. So I went ahead and put these, and that's green concrete in there. And I don't know, it just kind of looked neat to me, and it kind of gave me an idea of bamboo. So let me show you the inside workings of this thing. I spent a bit of time on the redstone here, but actually it's very simple. So on the other side of here are the chests, and there's hoppers going into the backs of them. These hoppers here feed down into the hoppers that go into the back of the chest. And then this cart goes around and it picks up all of the bamboo that gets knocked down by those pistons. So you see here what I've got is each of these rows is 16 blocks long of dirt. And then on either side I've got a row of jack-o'-lanterns. And above that, a row of regular pistons, not sticky pistons. And then on top of the pistons is redstone dust. And I'll show you. I'll just go ahead and show you. And so basically this cart goes around, and every time that there's bamboo laying on the ground, the cart goes around and picks it all up. And it pretty much picks up every bit of it by the second time around, if there's stuff there. But, hold on, there we go. So you can see there's the pistons, and there's just redstone going across the top. And now it's 16 blocks long, so I fed the signal down to it using observers. So the signal comes out here, and it's split to that side and this side. And then it goes through the repeater, and it comes down here to this observer. That observer will then go off. and there's another observer under it with a piece of redstone, so that redstone will light up, and so that'll signal that observer, and that observer then will turn on the redstone on top of the piston that's right under it, and so then that signal will go all the way to the left and all the way to the right, and all these pistons will extend one time and then go back, because observers only send like a pulse. They send a very short pulse too. It's not a nice long pulse. So what I noticed was that the pistons would knock down, the pistons fire on both sides. They push in and then they pull back. And so the bamboo would drop, but some of the bamboo would stay on top of that little square there. Sometimes there'd be bamboo just floating on top of there. So what I did was I thought I need to have two signals, and it'll do it, and then it'll wait a second, and then it'll do it again. So what I did here is this thing goes off twice a day. When the light is strong enough to light this one up, it'll go off. And when this one turns off, because the light gets weak, then it'll go off again. And the redstone will turn on this repeater, and so that causes this observer to trigger, and it sends one single pulse, and that pulse fires all the pistons. Now, when the daylight sensor, the way this works is the more light, the more blocks of redstone, the more redstone sections light up. So this one will light up, and then as the light gets stronger, this one will light up. So that'll send a signal. All the pistons will go, and then they'll come back. And then a few seconds later, this one will light up, and that'll send a signal, and it'll repeat. All the pistons will go. So the pistons go, and they knock the stuff down, and then they go again a few seconds later, and that knocks the stuff that's laying on top, that knocks most of that down there so that it drops to the ground and gets picked up by the minecart. And then at night, when the sun goes down and the light goes down, eventually this one turns off. This loses power down to 2, then it loses power down to 1, so this turns off, and the pistons go off, and then it goes down to 0, and the pistons go off again. So actually twice a day, all the pistons fire off twice. Oops. And it works pretty well. As you can see, I got about a couple double chests full of bamboo already, and that's basically one single long day of playing Minecraft. Probably put in about 5 hours on Minecraft, so that's about 5 or 6 hours worth of Minecrafting. So that's pretty good, as long as you're in the area, of course, so that the redstone's working. If you're not in the area and you come back, then eventually it will fire. And you're not going to lose any, because this stuff will only grow so high, and then it quits. And yeah, anyway, so that's basically it. The only other thing I would say is, the first thing I did was I built this, and it was working real well, but then I thought, will it work if there's a roof over it? Will the stuff still grow at a good rate? And even, I've got it super lit up in here, but, will having a roof over it interfere with it? And so I put dirt down and then tested it, and it was kicking out pretty much the same amount. So then I went ahead and put the roof on. So really, this project is done. It's fully functional redstone automated bamboo farm. The only thing is, and I do like these. I do like these things coming out here. I don't know what you would call that, but it's just decorative in nature. But the only thing I would say is, I'm going to do some more. I'm going to do some more decorating. Don't worry, I got my feather falling on. I'm okay. I'm going to do some more decorating around here, and yeah, I might move this. I might move the charcoal kiln inside there to make this an opener area here. If I do, I'll show you. Anyway, I hope you liked it. If you do, please click like below, subscribe for more, and Guts gotta go. And thanks for watching. Goodbye.